All right. So what is up, guys? My name is Ryan. We are here with another episode of the Fight Forecast. We have a special guest here tonight. We're going to do the picks a little bit later with Adam, but we have from NEF Fighting, Cam Arnold. He is the bantamweight champion of NEF. And yeah, man, it's an honor to have you on the podcast. I was actually at your fight at Aura when they did that whole Game of Thrones type thing. And man, your knockout power is insane. I texted my buddy that night and I said, I kid you not, I said this guy he has Conor McGregor knockout power.
Thank you so much. You literally just made the hair stand up on my face.
So I mean, I honestly think I think that you have some of the best knockout power I've seen in a very long time. And I've been watching MMA for 15 plus years now. So
Thank you. That really your words mean a lot. I appreciate that so much.
absolutely, absolutely. So looking over your career and stuff like that, it looks like you were supposed to have a fight against Arthur Mopafo.
Yes.
Yeah, April 4th. It got canceled, obviously, I assume, due to COVID. Is that still the plan that once the NEF gets up and running again, that's who you're going to be fighting, or?
So I was actually scheduled to fight him down at Cage Titans in Massachusetts for
Okay.
their vacant bantamweight strap. Um, as of right now, I'm going by day. Me and my coaches are in talks right now about what the next move may be, but I'm trying to get inactive. What our plan and what our timeline this year, obviously pre-COVID, was to get in one more fight, take one more strap, and then go pro, and start climbing the ladder there, and then rattle off 3 or 4 wins, go hit up the Contender Series, go fight for a contract. That's what our timeline was. Then COVID happened, and all this insanity that's going on in the world right now. That kind of put a delay in our time, but it was also good in a sense, because I'm also going to be breaking news right now. I had torn my MCL in early December. You're actually the first person who I've told to outside of my coaching staff.
Oh, well, I feel honored then that you would break this news.
Right. Well, reason why I feel comfortable with it now is just because I'm obviously 100%. I feel like I'm 100% now. I tore my MCL late November, early December, and then we were instantly. I was 2 days out, and I was back on the mats. Shouldn't have been, but I just, when I live, breathe, and die this shit. And right now I'm at a point in my life and age that I feel like I need to continuously develop and continuously stay active. I my whole life I've never really gotten the credit for anything I've ever done in my entire life. I've always had naysayers. I've always had so many people writing me off, and no matter what I did, just because in a lot of things it has to do with popularity, and I've never been one to engage and try to be the most popular guy. I've always remained that kind of Jorge Masvidal, call it how I see it. I beat to my own goddamn drum, and I'm pretty down to earth. What I think and feel is what I say. I speak from the heart 100% of the time, and I try not to step out of my lane in that sense. So, with that being said, man, it's we're looking to get to Arthur and Pofu, and if that doesn't happen, who knows? We may go pro. With me being injured, I obviously had to take not some serious time, but I had to be very, very calculated in what I did when it came to my injury and training. Obviously, my coaches didn't want me there. They actually had to sit me out quite a bit. Because I'm sitting in there. I got to get in there. And I'm the type of person, because I can't stay away from the gym. I need this shit in my life. If I don't train, if I don't fight, I'm not a very friendly person, and I've noticed that since becoming a fighter, I've obviously become a lot more composed in how I handle things and how I react. But I also need to tune that in when I'm injured too.
Yeah.
So when I get into the gym and I was hurt, I was like, I can't stand around and watch you guys train. I got to be in there and I got to train too. I don't care what I got to do unless I hurt myself. So needless to say, I started eating really clean, started doing a bunch of physical therapy, just taking the necessary steps to come back healthy, come back stronger, and come back more developed as a fighter. So when I started training, I was like, all right, well, I got to get back in. I got to fight. I was actually in talks. Mind you, I injured myself in late November, early December. I actually was lining up a title fight for Ammo Fight League in Massachusetts for March, right? So I throw my name in the hat. I got the title fight. The kid who I was supposed to fight ended up pulling out the same day. As soon as their team got my name, they ended up pulling out.
Pulling out.
Instantly. I couldn't believe it. Like, you got offered a title shot. You take the fight without knowing who your opponent is. You get your opponent's name, and all of a sudden you don't want to fight for a title. So that kind of, it is what it is. But over here, I don't play fighter on the weekends. I live it 24/7, and that's what I expect from my opponents every single time I go out there.
Yeah.
So that fight wasn't able to happen, and then we lined up for April 4th, I believe, which was a lot better, a lot more friendly for my knee and all that. Even though I probably shouldn't have still been fighting because I was still recovering, but I'm a fighter, and fighters fight. So that wasn't able to happen. But to answer your original question, me and Arthur is the fight to make. I have all the respect in the world for him. He's a very skilled fighter. He's a striker out of Sityodtong, I believe, or SBG East. I'm not exactly sure. Don't quote me on that. But he comes out of a very highly touted gym, and he's got some killer training partners. But I got better training partners. I got better coaches. I got better skill. I know I'm the best bantamweight in New England, and one of the, if not the best in the Northeast. In the pro ranks, I definitely see myself scraping the top 5, or not scraping, but scratching the top 5 when it comes to ranks in the pro ranks. If I were to jump in today, in New England, anyways. So, I mentally, I'm ready to go pro. But with all this COVID happening, I would definitely like to take another amateur fight just to get the ring. Even though last time I competed was in November, which wasn't that long ago. To me, that seems pretty long because I like to stay active,
So you mentioned fighting for a different organization. So do you no longer fight for NEF, or do you just kind of take the fights as they come?
I like Matt Peterson, man. I love Matt Peterson. I like NEF, but my thing is I'm gonna be a world champion someday. I'm manifesting that. I'm gonna be a world champion. And I'm not there to beat up cans, and a lot of their guys in the amateur ranks, and not some, but I'll leave the professionals at this topic just out of respect for them. But a lot of their guys in the amateur ranks are coming up. They beat a lot of independent fighters that are nobodies. You look at their records, their opponents' records, they're like 0-8, 0-2, or they'll bring in somebody who's almost an independent fighter, give him a couple of wins to beef up his record a little bit, and then they'll give him to a top guy to make it look like on paper that he actually faced somebody legit. And that's not the case. I'm not into the small town crap. I'm not into small town politics, you know. And I literally, and I'm not going to say any names, there was somebody sent to me before I fought Jeff Joy down in Massachusetts. And they said, so and so sent me down here. And they want me to let you know the record for Maine fighters going out of state and fighting is like 4-21 at the time. And we really think it's smart for you to stay here and fight. I said, that's cool and all, but that's why you guys stay regional fighters. And I'm not going to be that guy. You know, I have goals set to be a world champion. I'm going to be a world champion, and you're not going to be a world champion beating up cans for the rest of your life.
Makes
You
sense.
know, especially as an amateur, you should be testing yourself the most there. You know, because when you do, just say you turn pro, you beat up all the cans you can, you get 5 cans in a row, you go into the UFC, you get a contract, you make it into the UFC, great. But what happens when you face somebody legit? You're going to get smashed, and then in a sense, your promotion's not going to look that great for when you actually have a stud coming through your ranks. And then the next time they come up to approach the professional level, Dana White's gonna be like, I'm sorry, dude, but you've had 3 people come out of your promotion and they've ended up getting all smashed. Why would I give this kid a look?
Right.
You know? And I like I said, I have all the respect in the world for NEF. They've done me very well, you know. But I'm not into the small town politics, you know, and I'm definitely not going to be a regional fighter my entire life. If I go to other promotions and, you know, just say I turn pro and I go 0-6, then so be it. But you know what? I at least tested myself, and I made the right decision for myself to find out who I am as a person and who I am as a fighter in a legit sense. So, but Cage Titan, man, I don't know if you've ever seen Cage Titans. Cage Titans, I love Cage Titans. They treat me like family right off the bat. Their crowd, love me or hate me, they are a wild crowd, and just the intensity that comes out of Plymouth Memorial Hall is just unbelievable, unmatched, man. And their roster for Cage Titans is deep. It's deep, you know, and that's the type of stuff I want to be a part of. You know, they take this stuff serious. They take care of their fighters, amateur or pro. They take care of their fighters. You know, they even have an awards night where everybody meets up like a legit organization. Everybody's dressed up nicely, and they hand out actual awards for the year, like Fight of the Year, KO of the Year, amateur and pro ranks.
That's
You
cool.
know, and you know, I've been as an example for NEF, it's a popularity vote on Facebook. You know, for somebody who shouldn't win an award, you know, they'll end up winning an award because they know everybody and their brother, or they're
Yeah.
friends with everybody and their brother, or their parents are friends with everybody and their brother. And that's not me, man. I have a small circle. Like, of course, I have a pretty good following, and that's cool and all, and I appreciate everybody's love and support. But when it's all said and done at the end of the day, what meaning do those awards have if you don't hold anything at the end of the day? Meaning physical awards, even though that's not what I'm all about, but it's still nice to be appreciated.
Right.
Or when you put up a poll on Facebook and people can just endlessly vote, which doesn't make any sense because I've been up for KO of the Year a few times with them. I've won Fight of the Year. I've won Fighter of the Year for them, but I've never had anything to show for it besides bragging rights.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that doesn't make any that. You know,
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
you
getting
would think
there.
they would give you something.
Yeah, exactly. And Cage Titans, me and Jeff Joy had Fight of the Year, and even though I was on the losing end of it, I still got an award to show for it. And you know what? I'm very proud of that. I am so proud of that. Like, I have it hung up. Like, it's nice, man. You know, and as a fighter, I just want to feel appreciated for what I bring to the table and who I bring with me to the crowd. You know, I don't think that's that much.
For sure, for sure. So you mentioned earlier the contender series, and I'm glad you did bring that up because that was actually something that I was going to bring up to you. Funny enough. Um, I mean, I know Dana White had done searching for a fighter with NEF at one point in time. and that a couple people from NEF had made it to the UFC. Never really amounted to much from what I can remember. Um, but is that something that you've been reached out to about the Contender Series, or just something that you're hoping to have happen down the road?
So I can't. I have not been reached out personally by Dana White or the UFC or Sean Shelby. That would be a lie. But there's people that are connected um, on both ends that haven't, and this is not something that I've asked about or dug around for or anything like that, but somebody who's connected with them has approached me and has told me they know who I am, they know what I'm about. They apparently, I don't know if he was there or if it or how true it was, but when I fought Jeff Joy, he was supposed to be there for that fight. And then I heard something along the lines of UFC brass supposed to be there for the fight with me and Walt Shea. Um, so from my understanding, they do know who I am. If they don't, they're gonna. I just can't wait to prove who I am as a fighter because everybody like they all rant and rave about my power and all that, but it's really my fight IQ, man. I hit hard. There's no doubt about that, and I take pride in my power. But it's the precision, it's the fight IQ, it's how I set up my shots, it's the reads that I make on the fly, and then I have also other folks who want to question my ground game, but they don't realize I was a wrestler before I started fighting. You know what I mean? And yeah, I'm not a four-time state champ, but I know how to fucking wrestle. Excuse my language, sorry.
No, it's all right. It's a
Uh,
fight. It's a fight podcast. I'm not too worried about it.
cool. So needless to say, it's just I forgot what I was saying there.
Your wrestling game. You were talking
Oh
about your
yeah.
wrestling game.
So there's folks out there that want to question my wrestling, like a lot of these folks that question my wrestling or whatever the fact, obviously haven't watched too many of my fights because Killian Murphy, if I'm not mistaken, I know he was at least once or twice a state champ wrestler, but I'm pretty sure he's a four-time state champ wrestler. The kid was a stud wrestler in high school, and he didn't take me down once. I took him down a couple of times. He attempted several takedowns in our fight, didn't complete one. I took him down a few times in that one fight. Okay. And then I also had people, when I went and fought Cage Titans, if you listen to the commentary, they're saying, oh, this kid, we're questioning his cardio. He's never fought past the first round. But if they'd done any homework, they'd realize me and Killian went 4 rounds before I knocked him out. You know what I mean? So my power translates all throughout the fight. I don't care about the deep waters. I actually encourage that because it gives me more time to showcase what I'm about. You
Yeah.
know, like I said, people only see my power, but they don't see the heart, the chin, the IQ, the reads, the wrestling, and even Kyle Kenny. Kyle Kenny was my second fight. I picked him up and tried breaking his neck. I literally tried to break his neck during that fight. And if you watch that fight, you'll see what I'm talking about. I blast double legged him, and he was that far away from ended up on his head. And he had me in a guillotine, so it is illegal. You
Yeah.
know. So yeah, I mean, my ground game has gotten a lot better. And then last year, I made the switch of gyms. Not this past May, but the year before that May. And my coaching staff is literally world class. I believe easily the best wrestling coach in New England, hands down, and Coach John Dupree. Like that man right now could be in the UFC. So he's a secret weapon that not very many people know about. And my boxing coach, Coach Darren Elder, his head coach was Matt Foley, which was James Toney's head coach. And so I'm a product of Matt Foley's lineage, So the coaching staff that I have is just molding me into 10 times the fighter that I was.
Yeah. So I mean, I do see that you did lose your the first fight in Cage Titans by submission. What exactly do you think happened there? If you've been working on your wrestling game and stuff like that, is it just a fluke submission or? Um,
So if you watch that fight, I was dominating that whole fight. I was coming forward. I came in the middle of the cage. I was positioning. I was beating him, striking. He tried taking me down once or twice. Didn't really happen. I took him down at the end of the first round, right before the bell. He ended up tearing his labrum or his rotator cuff at that fight, and I didn't notice. Tough kid, Jeff Joy, super tough kid, man, super tough kid. Um, and so he comes out second. I was beating him in the second. I felt very confident, and then he cracked me with a spinning back fist. My mouth guard was about to fall out, and he bum rushed me. It took me a minute to get my senses back. I won't lie, it rocked me, you know. And I went to go put my mouth guard in, and he came in, body locked me. And when he got my back, I had went for an inverted knee bar. I had the knee bar, right? I had the knee bar, but this is where I lack. And I'll be straight up 100% honest with you. My jujitsu game is not black belt material. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, I didn't have the confidence in finishing the knee bar. But what I do have confidence in is heel hooks. And in Massachusetts, you can't heel hook. So I went to ditch out on the knee bar and I went to go for a heel hook. And then in my head during the fight, I'm like, I can't even do this. I'll get DQ'd. So instead of the heel hook, I went for a toe hold. And at that point in time, I didn't have the positioning or the leverage on the toe hold to complete it. So right then and there, I started feeling him crawl up my back, right? Because I let go everything of the inverted knee bar and everything. And I let go of the toe hold to try and escape. And the kid was quick, man. I'll give him that. Jeff Joy was super quick. And he has slick ground game too. He got the seatbelt over me, and I made a mistake. That's not on anybody else. And like I said, all respect to Jeff Joy and everything. Um, I made a mistake, and he capitalized on my mistake. So he got me in the seatbelt position, and I was hand fighting really nice and everything. And then there was a point in time. I don't know if you've ever been open hand smacked by somebody,
yeah.
but I've been open hand smacked before, and it kind of just like set something off in me. And it's not that feeling right there. I'm not saying he open hand smacked me, but he hit me somewhere like back here
Yeah.
while he had my back. And it was almost that same sort of quick pain, not pain, but like something that set me off. So I went from hand fighting to trying to punch him back here because it made me mad a little bit. And I connected with one good one, and I all of a sudden got the confidence to try to hit him again. And that's when he cinched it up.
Uh,
And I heard it's underneath his chin, and he got it super tight. And I almost tapped, and I'm like, you know what? No, I'm gonna go out on my shield. He beats me, and he put me right to sleep. So, but I would take that fight back 10 out of 10 times, and I'm most definitely confident I'd take that fight.
so if you had to pick like one more amateur fight, one more dream amateur fight in the New England area before you went pro, what would be your dream amateur fight? Would you run that one back? Would you go for the strap that you were supposed to? Is there someone in NEF you really wanted to fight? What would be your dream amateur fight?
So, hold on a sec here. I There we go. I accidentally clicked on something.
No
So
worries.
to answer your question, I ran through NEF's roster, who they had to offer me. In the amateur rankings at 135, I ran through that whole division. Right now I want to get my name out there. So there's nobody really in the 135-pound division in NEF that really excites me at all. So with that being said, I got to go to the next best thing, and then I got to find the talent out there because nobody's going to step outside of their comfort zone And that goes for a lot of promotions, not just NEF. Like, I don't see anybody from Cage Titans coming up to NEF to try to take my title. I don't see that happening at all. I don't
Right.
see, and they all say, well, there's only one strap that matters, and that's Cage Titans. That's bullshit. That's an excuse because you're fucking scared. Okay. So I don't care. I'm a G. I'll go into their backyard. I'll go in front of their families. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, their families can't fight for them. Their fans can't fight for them. When it's said and done, it's me and you across the cage, and I am not scared to be put out. I'm not scared to be hit, and I enjoy the pressure of who's going to make that move? Who's going to, we go swimming, we're going to get wet. So why do you got to be worried about getting punched? So with that being said, man, I'd really like to go to Cage Titans. I want to get that strap. I need that strap is mine. That was mine from the beginning. I totally believe that. Arthur's a great kid. Jeff's a tough SOB. But I'm pretty sure Jeff's going pro now. He actually set up that fight between me and Arthur itself, because he was vacating that title after going 4-0 as an amateur. So I mean, if Arthur is the last call, then that's it. I want the most pro ready fight that I can get, and if that doesn't pan out, then I guess it's time to go pro. But that's something me and my coaches have been discussing, and I'm sure we'll discuss it more along the lines in the future.
Yeah. So has NEF had you vacate your title then? If you're going to another organization, has there been any talks of that or?
No. I've defended my belt 2 times since winning it. I defended it against Henry Clark. I've defended it against Walshay. When they've asked me to defend it, I've defended it. I've been their 135-pound champion for 2 years now. And I don't think it wouldn't be a smart move or business wise, to have me vacate that title. There's nobody else in that division that can do what I did what I did, bring the attention that I bring to that promotion. You know what I mean?
Right.
Especially as an amateur. A lot of their guys, especially in the pro ranks, that were legit guys, have not been competing in NEF for some time now. Like Aaron Lacey's of the world, and he's a good fighter, man. Aaron Lacey's a stud. I'm just sure he's had some other things going on. Like Ryan Sanders, another top ranked fighter, and I want to say it's been maybe at least a year since he's competed. So you got all these guys that were leading the pack for NEF, but haven't really been active. And when you have your top pros not being all that active, it doesn't bring so much limelight to the promotion,
Yeah.
So, it kind of, and I love NEF. Like I said, I love NEF. I love Matt Peterson, but I just want more out of the experience. I want to be the top. I want to be the top guy, not in New England, not in Maine. I want to be the top guy in the world, and there's a lot of hoops, and there's that I got to jump through. There's got to be a lot of ladders I got to climb, and there's got to be a lot of heads to collect on the way, and I've already ran through that here in Maine.
Yeah. All right. So last question, man. If let's say when you get to the Contender Series, you get that contract, you have a chance to call out one UFC fighter. Who is it that you're calling out? Who's your
Dominic
go-to
Cruz.
matchup?
Dominic Cruz. If I could get him off, if obviously I don't think I'd get him off the rip. You know what I mean? Or if he'd still be fighting by then, who knows what his plans are. But stylistic wise, I definitely see myself beating him. If it's somebody who's in the lower ranks in the bantamweight class, outside the top 10, man, that's kind of hard. I don't know, maybe Marlon Vera. Who knows? And you also got guys that jump up and down and weight.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe there's somebody in the featherweight division that needs a fight, and I jump up. Who knows? I mean, when it comes to that, level of organization, I become more of a company man, especially when I'm just getting in there. I'm just getting my foot in the door. I'm a fresh face to the company. So at that point, you just kind of, yes, sir, do what you're told, you know. Obviously, until you hit the elite level.
So you think you could go up and down in weight and not have any issues going down, to a lower weight or going up in weight?
I obviously don't think I'll have a problem going up in weight. I'm a fat kid at heart, and I love to eat. Um, I honestly think I can make flyweight. It's all about being disciplined early and being disciplined all throughout camp. You know, I have the body makeup to be a flyweight, to be a big flyweight. I know I do. Um, and I can make bantamweight pretty relatively easy. It's all about how disciplined I am. You know, it's not like I walk around when I'm in camp. I'm walking around at 142 to 145. I've seen guys cut weight from 152, 153 and make flyweight at 5'9". You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So that's big. And they are already pretty toned at that, you know? So when I'm out of camp and I'm at 150, 155, I don't look all two tone like I would at 140, 145, you know?
yeah.
So I think I could get down there, but I think it's something that needs to be worked on. You know, I don't think it's something that I could just jump right into and do in itself. But I definitely see it's something that could be a possibility in the future.
All right, all right. Well, thank you again, man. I know it was kind of last minute that I asked you to come on, but once again, I appreciate taking the time to come on and help out the podcast and get to know about everything and your career and all that. And then I look forward to continuing to follow it and hopefully having you on maybe in the future once you get that strap, get to contenders and stuff like that.
Thank you very much, sir. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it very much.
Absolutely. Well, have a good night, man.
You as well. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.